America has been taken prisoner, trapped in a battle between the clear and present dangers of today and the long-forgotten fears of yesterday that some believe no longer exist. Now, on Wednesday, this prisoner's dilemma, it reared its ugly head as the threat of school gun violence took center stage once again. A 14-year-old walked into a Georgia high school, and when the bullets stopped flying, 4 people were dead, 2 children and 2 teachers, none of whom deserved to die in the halls of a building designed to help enrich American life, not end it. And before the bodies were cold, before the next of kin could be fully notified, well, our nation reflexively launched into the great debate. Do we seize the guns or protect constitutional rights? Do we protect our children's lives or preserve our citizens' God-given liberties? As if America was not founded specifically to ensure life and liberty could be pursued and preserved side by side. As if the pursuit of happiness, made possible by our inalienable rights, does not demand that we find a way to achieve both objectives. And so as those families down in Georgia wrestle with wounds that shall never heal, born out of grief for lives stolen before their time, well, the clear and present danger of our modern America, it feels closer than ever before. We see the faces of those murdered children and we imagine our own kids. We see those murdered teachers and we begin to imagine our own friends, our own loved ones. And suddenly the fears of our founders, well, they recede from view, no longer important. Suddenly the clear and present danger of their day, a tyrannical government, well, that seems like some form of relic. And so genuine grief and legitimate rage drives half of America to tell us it is unreasonable to believe that we need a militia in a 21st century America to defend our country. As if the Second Amendment is not also intended to empower free people to defend themselves against a constitutional republic that has bent the knee to tyranny. They will tell you there is no credible fear of America becoming a dictatorship or Congress yielding to the whims of a would-be king. And then those same people in their next breath, they will tell you that if Donald J. Trump is reelected, he is a fascist who will see himself as a permanent dictator in the image of strongmen around the world. And so here lies our dilemma. Here is the challenge put to future generations of Americans by Benjamin Franklin. A republic, if we can keep it. The clear and present danger and the forgotten fears of yesterday, they are both real. They exist in a symbiotic relationship. We ignore either at our own peril. The thought of a burglar breaking into your home, it is viscerally terrifying. This notion that somebody desires your possessions so much that they would enter your home potentially while you are still inside and take them by force is a literal nightmare that sends many Americans to the front door in the dead of night to double-check the locks. But statistically speaking, only about 269 out of 100,000 people are the victims of burglary. Conversely, you are much more likely to be the victim of identity theft, a crime that impacts 1 out of every 20 Americans, costs billions in damages, and can completely destroy your life. See, these are all clear and present dangers, and yet the forgotten fear, the undress and assault on liberty, a government that pressures private companies unlawfully to suppress the speech of private citizens, violating the spirit of the First Amendment, if not the letter of the law itself. This is a uniquely horrific paradigm that is happening right before our very eyes. The gradual actions akin to tyranny that are suddenly no longer relics. They are quite clear. They are quite present. And they are suddenly here in America, also quite dangerous. And so here we are, folks, a nation with over 5 million assault weapons in the hands of mostly peaceful, law-abiding Americans. A nation terrified by the very real and very daunting threat of death via bullet in math class. And suddenly, this undeniable horror of our day-to-day existence has become quite real. But we are also a nation whose fears from yesterday are also suddenly coming back to life. A nation that needs a government plan to address the clear and present danger of school shootings, that does not open the door to the forgotten fears our Constitution was ordained and established to ward off in the name of preserving a republic, if we can keep it.